we use some of this from time to time. It's just discarded old fucking office equipment and stuff like that. And so, yes, just like, you know, like these fucking chairs right here. But we'd love to talk about art, the bands that come down here to practice, I mean, whatever you want.
In the catacombs under the old Columbus Hospital building is a speakeasy for art, a hidden imagination land that only has a select few that know where it is and how to get there. Welcome to The Spacement.
I think in order for it to be a business, you kind of have to show profit, which we're not super profit motivated. We're more just having an artistic space and a unique space to Great Falls that people can come and kind of, step into a different type of reality than what they're used to and have the freedom to explore music and art.
So the Spacement is kind of an artist collective, right? So we have musicians, we have visual artists, we have writers, and it's kind of I don't want to use the word like safe space, but it's kind of like an area where artists can kind of come and they can do their art in whatever medium that they decide to do it in. Because it also is hard to get to. Like we don't tell people where it is. And it's kind of a speakeasy artist studio. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, a lot of times people go, well, where is that? And we go, you don't know yet.
Friends of friends, people that hear about us on, through the grapevine and want to check it out. And being in a band, I just know a lot of other musicians. So it's just kind of word of mouth mostly.
Montana isn't known for alternative culture, but underground, the scene is thriving.
It's like nostalgic, right? And that's the first thing you walk down, you're like, oh, I feel like I've been here before.
People that aren't part of the mainstream in the music scene or the art scene, a little bit of a kind of the fringe artists and underground musicians and that kind of thing. It's a place for them to kind of experiment and hone their craft.
Apart from in Montana, like we're not all Yellowstone, right? We're not all, I'm going to say it even though I'm wearing a buffalo shirt, we're not all just buffaloes, right? Like there's other things going, but it's also alternative culture. And that's something that people don't expect from Montana, and specifically they don't expect from Great Falls. They might expect it from Missoula, they might expect it from pockets of Bozeman.
Occasionally we'll have small instrument shows, singer-songwriters, small punk bands, indie bands, that kind of stuff that we've had hip hop bands down here, just that want a smaller kind of intimate environment to test out their music and play for a group of people that are invested in what they're doing. It kind of became a communal space for lots of bands and artists to get together and be creative.
Back in the 90s, I grew up in the 90s, you'd have garage bands, right? I don't think that people have garage bands now because they don't have spaces like that where they can just go and be artistic if they want to play music or not. This to me is kind of a garage band feel of alternative art.
Like most people in Montana, we are just tired of seeing the same CM wrestle painting, it was cool back then. I mean, it's still kind of cool now, but there needs to be a change, and we need to be more original. And I just have so many issues with unoriginality.
There is a business side to the Spacement as well, but it seems to be a byproduct of the creativity rather than the main focus.
So about 10 years ago, I started a company called Electric Kitty Printing, and it's just a small scale print shop.
The business side is Kyle, and myself, and we have been friends for a while. We got together and said, we like what we do. We like what the Spacement is, the feel, the culture of it. How can we get that and make it more? How can we get that and kind of expand into what we love? Because we're all artists.
So I nervously went up and talked to him, and Kale, of course, is the nicest human being on the face of the planet. And he was like, no, just come and just hang out, and I'll show you how to do everything. And he did.
And then a very small silk screening setup. We were just silk screening shirts for our band. And then, a couple other bands wanted shirts, so we'd print for them.
It's nature, it's dysfunctional, it's bringing light to the fact that we're losing culture daily.
The art we're putting onto shirts is very Montana-centric, but it's not your run-of-the-mill, like live, laugh, love Montana stuff. It's more of a, again, to fit the Spacement aesthetic, a little edgier, a little bit more on the fringe, a bit more artistic and interesting.
Or if we want to have some bands in here and bring in bands from other cities, other states, and let's record and let's get them posters and let's get them shirts and let's create this communal feeling of art and kind of sharing, if I can say that. But that's the idea of it, is we do what we love. We all have other jobs. We all do other things. But let's come together here in the space and we can create. And then we can also share with other people and they can create. And that makes it really cool.
Kale, Seth, and Kyle, the crew of The Spacement, are all working to bring new art to Montana and renew interest in alternative art of all kinds. The Spacement can be contacted at the link in the description below.
Be interested in other art. Be interested in not just classic C.M. Russell type of art. Again, awesome, gorgeous, did a great job, but there's other kind of art out there. There's other kind of artists out there. And start looking around, start seeing what's available. So we're really hoping to push that kind of culture, that it's not just Yellowstone type of Montana, but there's tons of other things that are going on. Montana made movies or other kind of genre movies, or, let's get together and do whatever. There's always something going on. You just got to find it. Whenever you hear people talk about Montana, Great Falls is always kind of at the bottom of the list. But Great Falls has some really cool things happening and really good artists making really good art for the sake of making art. Not because they expect to, shoot to the top, but it's because they want to share the cool things that they're able to do in Great Falls.
If you come up to any of us, we'd love to talk about it. We thrive on talking about it.
Great Falls has a bad rap. You talk to someone from Missoula and they're like, Great Falls, that place sucks. Just keep thinking that, because Great Falls is pretty cool. There's some cool stuff here, and